Good morning, students. So, let us proceed through our second class in organic chemistry. The last class I have told you the introductory of the organic chemistry and some fundamental concepts I have provided to you. Right now, let us discuss about the nomenclature of organic compounds. Very important, nomenclature of organic compounds. Nomenclature of organic compounds. Clear? Nomenclature means to assign name to the organic compound. Nomenclature, the word nomenclature means assign name to organic compound, to the organic compound, that is called nomenclature. So particularly this nomenclature based on two systems. One is tribal system, or this is also known as common name, tribal system or common system of nomenclature, common naming, tribal system or common naming of nomenclature. So this tribal system of nomenclature, the name of organic compounds has been derived, the name of organic compounds have been derived from their source. For example, we are saying acetic acid. That clear? CH3COOH. What is its name? Acetic acid. This word is derived from Greek word acetum. Acetum means it is present in chief constituent in vinegar. Clear? Similarly, formic acid, its source, that is red ant, and you know this red ant in Greek word, if I can say, that is Formicius. The Greek word Formicius. Similarly, oxalic acid, COOH. This one is oxalic acid. Oxalus, Latin word from oxalus. So these are the common system of nomenclature, and their naming has been done by considering the source from which they been derived. This is common system of nomenclature. So right now we will discuss or proceeding through the second system of nomenclature, that is IUPAC system of nomenclature. Now let us discuss the very important, that is IUPAC nomenclature. IUPAC nomenclature, system of nomenclature. IUPAC system of nomenclature means it is International union of pure and applied chemistry and applied chemistry. Let us discuss the first class of organic compound, that is alkanes or paraffins. You can say alkanes or paraffins. Why these are known as paraffins? Due to their lesser reactivity. So alkanes genuine formula you know, CnH2n plus 2. So first one, if I write CH4, you are saying this compound is named is methane. That clear? CH3, this is ethane. Next CH3, CH2, CH3. This is called 3 carbon atoms, propane, or you can say N-propane. Prefix you are using here N. CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. How many carbon atoms? 4. You can say N-butane. Likewise CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. This is known as N-pentane. So prefix N we are representing here for straight chain compounds. Okay, you can write the prefix N is used when the carbon atoms are linked to each other through a continuous chain. Through a continuous chain. That's why we are using N. N means normal pentane, normal butane, normal hexane, N-hexane for straight chain compounds when the carbon atoms are linked to one another by means of this straight chain. Then you are using the prefix ne. Clear? Next, in which case you are using the prefix iso. Just let me vanish all the things. Next you see the prefix iso. The prefix iso. The prefix iso is used when a methyl group means CH3 group. Okay, when a methyl group when a methyl group is attached to the second last carbon atom of longest continuous chain. Clear? For example, you just see this one CH3, CH, CH2, CH3. Here you see the continuous chain over here. This one is the continuous chain. The second last means 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is last, and second last carbon is this, and this carbon associated with one methyl group. So you can use over here iso, the prefix iso. So what can I write over here? Isopentane, pentane. You see how many carbon atoms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can use isopentane over here. Why? Because through the second last carbon atom, it is associated with one methyl group. Two methyl groups like this. This is iso group. Okay. Similarly, if I write CH3, CH, CH3, CH3. Clear? So here you see 1, 2, 3. This one is the last carbon, or you can proceed like this: 1, 2, 3. This one is the last carbon, and this one is second last, associated with one methyl group. So you can write isobutane. Isobutane. Clear? So like that of, if you remove, okay, this is about the prefix iso. Next, another prefix, that is the prefix neo. The prefix neo. Whenever the prefix neo is used, when two methyl groups are attached to the second last carbon, to the second last carbon atom of longest continuous carbon chain. Longest continuous carbon chain. For example, if I write here, you see CH3, CH3, CH3. You see, you can imagine this one is the longest continuous carbon chain, and this one is the second last carbon. Suppose I start numbering from here: 1, 2, 3. This one is second last carbon, associated with, connected to two same methyl groups. So here you can write how many carbon atoms are there? 3, 4, 5. So you can write neopentane. Clear? Or you can write like this. Suppose like this: CH3, 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 CH2, CH3. So this is the longest continuous chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here you see through the second last carbon connected two methyl groups. So you can write this one is new hexane, because total number of carbon atoms 6. So new hexane. Clear? So this is about the prefix. Next, types of carbon atoms present in the carbon chain. Types of carbon atoms present in the carbon chain. How many carbon atoms are present in the carbon chain? Particularly, there are three types of carbon atoms. There are 4 types of carbon atoms. 4 types of carbon atoms present in the carbon chain. These are primary carbon atoms. First one, primary carbon atom. Here the carbon atom which is attached to one other carbon atom is called a primary carbon atom. Next, it is designated as 1 degree, you can say. Next, secondary carbon atom. This is 2 degree. The respective carbon atom the respective carbon atom is connected to or is attached to two other carbon atoms, that is called secondary. Clear? Next, that is tertiary carbon atom. Is 3 degree. Here you can say the respective carbon atom is attached to 3 other carbon atoms. 3 other carbon atoms. And next one, that is quaternary carbon atom. That is 4 degree ascendage. Here you can say the respective carbon atom is attached to or adjacent to 4 other carbon atoms. 4 other carbon atoms. So these are basically 4 types of carbon atoms found in the carbon chain. Okay, so let us discuss it through one example. You see, suppose an example is like this: CH3, 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 CH2, CH3. Look at this compound. Okay, so in every case tetravalent nature of carbon is satisfied by hydrogen atoms, placing hydrogen atoms. So first one I am saying, let's say this carbon atom is adjacent to only one carbon atom. So this carbon atom is primary, 1 degree, primary carbon atom. Clear? Next, what about this carbon atom? This carbon atom is adjacent to this one and also this one. So this one is secondary carbon atom. Then what about next carbon atom? This one is adjacent to 1, 2, 3 carbon atoms. So this one is tertiary, 3 degree carbon atom. Clear? Again, what about this one? This one is adjacent to 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is quaternary, 4 degree. Clear? And what about all these? This one is primary, 1 carbon atom. This one is also primary, 1 carbon atom. And this one also primary, 1 carbon atom. And this one also primary. Clear? Very easy. And accordingly you can assign the number of primary hydrogen, secondary hydrogen and tertiary hydrogen. So you can write in a single step, that is the hydrogen atoms attached to primary, secondary and tertiary carbon atoms are known as corresponding hydrogens. That means here this one is primary carbon. How many hydrogens are connected to it? 3. So number of primary hydrogen 3. Here 3. Likewise, in case of tertiary, the tertiary carbon atom having one hydrogen atom, so it has only 1 tertiary hydrogen atom. Here 2 secondary hydrogen atoms. Likewise. So in this way you can identify the primary, secondary and tertiary carbon atoms, and the respective hydrogen atoms attached to primary, secondary and tertiary are also known as primary hydrogen, secondary hydrogens, tertiary hydrogens respectively. Quaternary, there is no hydrogen atoms because already it is associated with 4 covalent bonds, no hydrogen atoms are there. Okay. Next, let us discuss about alkyl groups, or you can say nomenclature of alkyl groups. So generally you have to replace one hydrogen atom from alkane and you can get alkyl groups like this. Alkane, just replace one hydrogen atom from alkane, you will get alkyl groups. Clear? So CnH2n plus 2, just replace one hydrogen atom, you will get CnH2n plus 1. So this group is called alkyl group. Clear? So generally if I write methane, CH4, what is its name? Methane. So you just replace one hydrogen atom from methane, you will get this one. Tetravalency nature of carbon is satisfied, one bond is there, you have replaced one hydrogen atom. So from methane, this is called methyl group. Okay. Similarly C2H6, this one is ethane, replace one hydrogen, you will get C2H5, this group. So C2H5, this one is your ethyl group. Ethyl group. Next C3H8, this is propane. If I replace one hydrogen atom, I will get C3H7. This is called propyl group. Propyl group. So in case of alkane, you have to replace this last letter A-N-E, these three, by YL, that is alkyl group. Is that clear? So as I have mentioned you, nomenclature. Nomenclature means you have to consider the starting format of the alkane. For example, if I write CH3, CH2, CH3, this is straight chain compound, N-propane you can write, N-propane. By replacing one hydrogen atom from N-propane, you will get CH3, CH2, CH2, like this. So this is called N-propyl group. N-propyl group. Again, if I replace from this one CH3, CH, I can write over here CH3 and I have replaced one hydrogen from this middle carbon. Is that clear? So this group, or you can write in this format CH3, CH, CH3, this one. Two methyl groups are attached to the second last carbon atom, and this group is right now called isopropyl group because the prefix is isopropyl group. Clear? For example, if I write CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, N butane. If I replace one hydrogen atom from this methyl group, I am getting CH3, CH2, 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 like this. So this is called N-butyl. Already one hydrogen being replaced, alkyl group, N-butyl group. Again, if this, the structure of this one can be written also in this manner: CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, like this. CH3. That clear? So this one is called isobutane. Isobutane. 4 carbon atoms are there. So if I replace one hydrogen atom from this one, so what type of alkyl group I am getting over here? CH, CH3, CH2, like this. One hydrogen from this carbon, this methyl group being replaced. So here you can see iso group, second last carbon, 2 methyl groups are there. From isobutane you can get isobutyl group. Clear? If I replace, look at this one, this hydrogen atom, CH3, 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 this one is called, tell me, this one is called new pentyl system. Okay, let's say I am replacing this middle hydrogen. Okay, so structure will be like this. From this one I am saying I am replacing this hydrogen atom from this carbon, so the structure is like this. So this one is a tertiary butyl system. This group is known as tertiary butyl alkyl group because this carbon is tertiary in nature. Similarly, look at here. If a compound is like this, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, this is N-butane. If I replace this hydrogen atom from this carbon, then the structure is like this. CH3, CH2, CH, one hydrogen atom from this carbon atom get lost, CH3. This carbon atom is secondary, so this is called sec butyl group. Similarly, if I write new pentane means CH3, 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 CH3. This is new pentane. I can replace one hydrogen atom from either carbon. I will get CH3, CH3, CH2, this one. Okay, so this one is called new pentyl group. Clear? So these are the identification or nomenclature of various alkyl groups, and alkyl groups are obtained by replacing hydrogen atom successively, hydrogen atom from the corresponding paraffins or alkanes. Got it? Next, we will discuss what happens whenever hydrogen atom is replaced from alkenes and alkynes. So, when hydrogen atom of alkene being replaced, how the nomenclature of remaining system? You can see alkene, that is CnH2n. This is called alkene. Clear? So when one hydrogen atom from alkene being replaced, then we will get CnH2n minus 1, this group, and what you have to remove, E, and you have to add Yl. So what can I write? Alkene. I can replace E by Yl. Alkenyl group we are getting. In that of alkane we were getting alkyl groups, but here we are getting alkenyl group. For example, if I consider CH2 double bond CH2, alkenes are characterized by carbon-carbon double bond. Just replace one hydrogen atom, so I can write CH2 double bond CH like this. Clear? So this is called ethene. So can I write ethene-nyl, or this one is called vinyl group. Next, if I write CH3 CH double bond CH2, this one is propene. So if I replace one hydrogen from this carbon, so what can I get? CH2 double bond CH, CH2 like this. This is called 2-propene. This one is simply propene. If I consider the hydrogen atom from this one is being replaced, so here there will be 2 position will get this double bond, so I can write 2-propenyl, or this one is called also allyl group, allyl. Next, if I replace this hydrogen atom, you see CH3 CH double bond CH2. If I replace hydrogen from this one, can be written as CH3 CH double bond CH, like this, and here double bond is present, the carbon removed from 1 number carbon, so I can write over here 1-propenyl, clear? So like that of from alkene means CnH2n minus 2, this is alkyne. You just replace 1 hydrogen, then what will be its formula? CnH2n, can replace 1 hydrogen atom from here, so that will be 2n minus 3. That is the formula of alkyne. So look at here. Now I am going to replace 1 hydrogen from alkyne system. This one HC triple bond CH, this one is called acetylene, or you can say ethyne. So the group you are getting over here, alkyne, just replace E, add YL, so you will get alkynyl. So here you see H C triple bond CH, just replace 1 hydrogen, the group you are getting HC triple bond C, like this. This is ethyne, so you are getting ethynyl group. Next, if I write CH3 C triple bond CH, methyl acetylene, I can replace this hydrogen, let's say, so I am getting CH3 C triple bond C, like this. So this is 1 2 3 1-propenyl. I can replace this one also, H C triple bond C CH2, like this. So this one again becomes 2-propenyl. Likewise, you can assign the nomenclature to various alkyl groups. Okay. So students, so it is the time to write the IUPAC nomenclature of organic compounds. So you just remember its strategy. The general representation of IUPAC nomenclature for a compound can be represented as just remember, don't forget to be these steps, that is prefix, first one prefix plus word root, or some people saying it root word, no problem, prefix word root plus primary suffix plus secondary suffix. Let us discuss one by one. prefix plus word root plus primary suffix plus secondary suffix. That clear? So let us discuss first one, that is prefix. Prefix, what does it represents? You see, in a compound there is presence of a longest continuous carbon chain. Little bit of hints I have already provided to you guys. Okay, so those groups which are attached to the main chain and regarded as these are the side chains. Okay, so prefix means these are the side chains. Prefix, it is represented by, it represents, you can write, it represents the groups or side chains, presents the groups or side chains attached to the longest continuous carbon chain, the longest continuous carbon chain. So remember students, if CH3 group is attached, then its a prefix name you can write methyl. If C2H5, then you can say ethyl. That clear? If chlorine, simply you can write chloro. If bromine is attached as side chain, you can write its prefix name bromo. If iodine is, you can write its iodo. If CN is there, you can write cyano. Likewise, these are the prefix names. If you can write, if NO2 group is there, then you can say nitro. If simply NO group is there, it is called nitroso. Likewise, you can remember their prefix names. So gradually we will be familiar with these names. Don't take any tension about this. It will be automatically remembered. Don't worry for that. Don't bother for that. So after prefix, next step is word root. Next step is word root. So what this word root represents? See. Now you see, word root represents the number of carbon atoms, C atoms present in the main chain. Present in the longest continuous carbon chain, you can write. Longest continuous carbon chain, and this longest continuous carbon chain is also known as principal chain, or some people saying it as main chain. Main chain. Clear? So for example, if the number of carbon atoms, I can write over here, number of carbon atoms, and here that is the root word. So for carbon atom 1, if one carbon atom is there, the root word will be meth. 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, 10 that is known as dec. And for 11 you can write dodec. Likewise, but you just remember this much, it's enough. In the compound, it contains maximum 5 or 6 carbon atoms in the longest continuous chain. Okay, don't bother for that, you just remember this one. Clear? So that's why little bit of hints I am providing you. You have write, let's say CH4 and its name is methane. Do you understand where this meth comes? It stands for word root. Suppose CH3, what is its name? You are saying ethane, and you know there are 2 carbon atoms. So this is called root word, which represents the number of carbon atoms present in the main chain. So next we will see primary suffix, that is added to the word root. Primary suffix. Primary suffix. It represents the type of linkage, among the carbon atoms of longest continuous chain of main chain, and is added after word root. So if C single bonds are there, no doubt the name of the compound ends with alkane, because carbon single bond. So suffix will be ANE, alkane, saturated hydrocarbon, that is saturated hydrocarbon. If carbon double bond is there, then unsaturated, this is alkene for unsaturated hydrocarbon. Then consequently you can ask question about triple bond. Yes, that will be alkyne. Again this one is also your unsaturated hydrocarbon. For 2 double bonds, for 2 CC double bonds, it can be written as alkadiene. For 2 CC triple bonds, if 2 triple bonds are there, then you can say alkadiene. Clear? So likewise you can assign the primary suffixes. Next we will discuss secondary suffix. Then the final one, that is secondary suffix. Secondary suffix. So what does it represent? It represents the functional group. It represents the functional group present in the compound. Clear? So functional groups likewise, suppose OH group is there, then this is alcohol. So its secondary suffix will be all. This one aldehyde, then its secondary suffix will be al. This one is carboxylic acid, then its secondary suffix will be oic acid. Clear? Next this one is SH, thiol. So this one is also called thiol, SH, that can be, so its one is thiol. Okay, so similarly C double bond O, NH2, this one is acid amide, and this one is amide. NH2 amine. C double bond O, X, acid halide, so its secondary suffix will be oil halide, oil halide. Likewise, suppose this one is C double bond O R dash, this one is ester, so its secondary suffix will be OATE, OAT. Clear? So like this you can remember the secondary suffix by considering these functional groups. Is that clear? So very important, just remember these. This is the skeleton of IUPAC nomenclature. So whenever you need to assign IUPAC name to any organic compound, you have to first consider its prefix, then word root, then primary suffix, then secondary suffix, then you can add it they collectively and get the name of IUPAC name of the respective organic compound. Okay, so go through the depth that I have discussed in this class, and thank you for watching. In next class we will assign name to the organic compounds. Okay, thank you.